Hi guys, so this is my I would say my Hoya. I think it's called Pubicalyx Splash, and I believe the splash is due to the variegation. As you can see there, it's when the weird thing is when you don't really look at it very closely, it looks kind of a silvery kind of color. But when you do look at it closer, it's just more of a lighter tint. Like right now, sometimes it does look like white specks, but when I look at this leaf right here in person, this one really does look more of a lighter green. I don't know why it just doesn't come off as that, but that's what it looks like. And I would say this is like one of the first few Hoyas that I do have because if you have watched, I think you've already seen the unboxing for this one, but if you've watched my first Hoya ever, because I always see these in stores, but I've never really been interested in them. But anyway, I remember someone telling me last year how they can be an obsession, and I kind of have really gotten into that rabbit hole. So if they're it's weird how how a lot of times most plants, usually when their leaves are lighter and they've already grown and they're not new baby leaves, it's usually due to overwatering. With Hoyas, a lot of times it's due to what they call light bleaching or sun bleaching. So if your Hoya is getting a ton of light, it can really yellow the leaves. I actually like this color, and it's only this leaf so far. Also, this plant, you have to treat it more of a closer to what a not really a succulent, because I suck at succulents, pun intended, but they need to dry out way more. So kind of similar to a ZZ or a snake plant or an aglaonema. Not necessarily like a succulent, because they do have a good root system, versus succulents are really more of a shallow system sometimes. Excuse me. So I'm very, very new to Hoyas, and when I did get this one, I did trim them off because I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of people that will be screaming and saying what I did wrong, but I didn't really know. And when I did get her, there was like I'll show you. Like a lot of like damage like this, and it looks kind of gnarly like that too. So there were a few more like long I don't know what they're called, the viney strings. Um they were a lot longer, and I didn't know what I was doing, and she's only been with me a very short amount of time. So I trimmed them off, as you could see. The worst case scenario is if there was, I forgot what they're called. I'm sorry, guys. I've just been, there's been a lot going on in my life. And so, I'm having dark spots when it comes to vocabulary and articulating anything really. So, there's something that comes out which will encourage you or encourage the plant or kind of closer to getting it to bud and flower. I didn't really see that in any of those, but I also didn't really know what I was looking at the time. I just saw this, and it used to be like a few inches longer. But the good thing for that is I was just kind of thinking that maybe that was that. But like this one right here, I didn't even notice that. This is already broken, so I have to, just there you go. It was such an easy peel off because it was already damaged, and that was just before I got it. So it was something like that. It just there was some damage there that I thought I would just repair sooner than later. So I think it would just encourage more growth because that's usually what happens when you pinch plants in general. It would just encourage new growth. So that's okay. But like I said, there was just a ton of damage that I wanted to get rid of so that I could encourage more growth because I thought, she could take a beating a little bit because she's a beautifully established big plant. So I was fine with doing that. I mean, it's better to do it now than later on when maybe the longer parts would have it would be like 3 feet long and then there's only one leaf. But usually I believe Hoyas can become like that. Although everything that I do use to water her will be down below, and I do hope that it would make her bushy as well as encourage buds and blooms. So this is my Hoya and one of my Hoyas actually. And if you guys have any tips, advice, and caring and terms in regards to this particular plant, let me know down below in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys all the time. Talking about plants would be wonderful. I hope you enjoyed my video. You're going to hit the like button, the subscribe, and of course the bell if you haven't yet. And again, if you know a lot more about this particular Hoya, let me know down below. I recently did join a ton of Hoya groups as much as I can, just so I'm a little bit more familiar with the plants itself. I don't want to do anything wrong, and as you can see, I did add a moss pole here. I will again link down everything below so you guys can check out what I do, feed her every time I water, and where I got my moss pole, and anything else. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything, always go in the comment section. I always respond to everybody. So there you go. And I hope you guys have some good tips for me. And I feel like actually having the plant itself and learning is also an actual beautiful knowledge experience, because you'll actually know what to do and what not to do and things like that. But having somebody who has learned the exact same things you're trying to achieve, and you don't have to go through the stress and the anxiety of possibly hurting your plant, but just keeping them to thrive, is actually great as well. That's why I'm always sharing information that I do have. My friends always ask me, they love looking at my pictures and things like that, and my plants. And one of my friends the other day actually said she's jealous of one of my jades. And so I just said, because she says she tries every summer to get new plants, and they just always die or whenever it is. And I just always told her, hey, just hit me up, let me know. Anything that I could find out, if I do know, I will always share with you. So yeah, she needed some tips on the jade, which for me is very, very simple, but it's not really simple for everybody. If you've seen my other videos, I actually did give one of my jades to a friend and my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law has updated me on it and how it's just thriving. She said usually her jades die by now, but she's having a good time with the ones I gave her. So there you go. And again, if you want to talk about plants, do that in the comment section. All of my social media accounts are down in the description section, as well as what I use to care for this plant. Everything is in there. So I try to put there as much information as I can to help you guys out. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.